Greetings, everyone. This presentation provides a comprehensive guide on doing business in India, presented by Rosa Cerna, Esther Martinez, Preyas Patel, and Valerie Suarez. Business now can be made worldwide. Nowadays, we're not only making business with our neighbors and people in surrounding communities, but now we can easily do business with people across the country. As fascinating as that sounds, it comes with its challenges. People of other countries also have different culture, language, and customs. This presentation is to educate the everyday business person on how to go about making business in India by providing tips and information which will come in handy when trying to make deal in foreign country. Let's begin with some general facts about India. India is located in Southwest Asia. Its capital is New Delhi. Its neighboring countries are Bangladesh, Bhutan, Burma, China, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. In India, Indian rupees are used as the country's currency. There are four seasons in India: summer, monsoon, post monsoon, and winter. India contains the fourth largest reserve of coal in world. Among other natural resources are manganese, bauxite, iron ore, mica, chromite, diamond, limestone, titanium ore, natural gas, petroleum, and arable land. Next, let's discuss the Indian government. India is the largest democratic country in the world. It has parliamentary form of government which divides into three branches which are legislative, executive and judiciary. Next, we have India's demographic. India has a population of 1.2 billion, which is the second highest population in the world. There are 940 females per 1000 males. So let's review some important figures. In India, at least 81% of the population are literate and have had some form of education. Next is religion. The most common religion is Hinduism. 81% of the population practices it. Now, let's discuss labor force. Only 1% of the population in India are business people. Now, time to discuss some level and pace of development. In 1991, India transitioned from closed economy to an open economy. Today, its economy is characterized by liberalized foreign investment, trade policies, private sectors, and deregulations. India's gross domestic product has been constantly increasing throughout the past couple of years. From 2009 to 2011, total GDP increased from 3.8 trillion to 4.5 trillion. These figures are in US dollars. Furthermore, GDP per capita has grown from 3200 to 3700. Lastly, the real growth rate has increased from 6.6% to 8.5%. In 2011 to 2012 fiscal year, the distribution of GDP stood at 55.5% service sector, 26.3% industry sector, and 18.1% agriculture sector. Now, let's discuss greetings in India.
When making business in India, it is important to know that greetings differentiate from our home countries. Greetings are influenced by religion, education, and social class. The first person who should be greeted is the eldest, the second eldest, and so on. Upon leaving, each person must be bid individually upon leaving the group. A form of a common greeting is a handshake. Men to men handshake is common. Woman to woman is also common. However, between genders, there are restrictions due to religious beliefs. Greetings are friendly and formal. Professional titles should be used. Between two Indian individuals, the typical greeting is namaste, followed by a slight bow with both hands and palms pressed together in front of your chest, fingers pointed upwards. Between Indian and Western individuals, a handshake can be offered. Make sure your handshake is not too firm or aggressive. When women are included in the greetings, try to keep the least amount of physical contact. Remember, this is not to be taken as offensive, but religion comes into play, and all religions differ. For example, let's take body language into consideration. In India, body language differs to that of American body language. There is no public display of affection. Sometimes, men and men backpatting is allowed, since it is seen as a sign of friendship. Usually, body distance should be kept at least an arm's distance away from the other individual. Direct eye contact may be seen as intrusive, but Indians may gaze while curious. Pointing with footwear is insulting as feet are considered unclean. Also, pointing with a single finger is rude. Instead, try to use your whole hand or chin to point. At this time, we cannot present corporate culture etiquette. When conducting business cards are to be exchanged during introductions. Decisions are made by the person with the highest authority. Remember, being polite and persistent is key. At some point during your meeting, beverages should be offered and one should accept them. If one cannot make a meeting, rescheduling is acceptable. When an Indian business partner says something like, that will be difficult, or we will give it some thought, it usually is a polite rejection. When dealing with business in India, do not rush into corporate talk. This is different to the American way of getting right down to business. Next, we have dining etiquette. During meals, it is acceptable to discuss business. However, let your host bring it up first. Spouses can be included during business functions. Alcohol consumption should not take place or should be kept to a minimum. Whoever is hosting the function should pay. It is good manners in India to arrive 15 to 30 minutes late after you are expected. Yes, I said late. In India, it is custom to eat with your hands. Preferably, use your right hand as the left hand is considered unclean. Following, we have gift etiquette. When visiting, bringing gifts is proper etiquette once a relationship is established. A good example of a gift may be something from the visitor's country. Keep in mind that alcohol or leather gifts may not be a good idea since 81% of the Indian population practices believes that killing animals is wrong. Thus, a leather gift may be seen as offensive. Moving on, let's talk about some miscellaneous etiquettes. Upon entering a household, take off any footwear and leave them outside. Whenever an elder or a new guest enters the room, stand up and do not sit down until they are seated. Show appreciation and praise the food since it is a compliment to the woman of the house. To show gratitude, invite your host out to dinner or bring an appropriate gift. When it comes to social events, keep in mind that Indian people do not RSVP. Also, be prepared to welcome any extra guests. Standing tall with your hands on your hips is perceived as aggressive. Let's finish our etiquette section with dress etiquette. When it comes to business attire, men should stick to suits and ties, and women should consider conservative pantsuits or dresses. Men should avoid shorts and neutral colors are suggested. Too much skin exposure suggests that you are considered low income or that you are shameless about flaunting your body. Tight clothes are also considered shameless. In addition, undergarments should not be exposed. Now, let's transition to small talk topics.
When at business meetings, one should start with small talk and relatively unimportant topics before migrating to the main issue. Try to familiarize yourself with personal aspect of the opposite party. Topics like politics, religion, and extreme personal questions should be avoided. Recommended topics are sports, current events, surroundings, mutual friends, work experience, and education. Now, let us introduce you to some of the most common Hindi phrases. While many languages and multiple dialects are spoken in India, the language of international business is English, and Indian government recognizes Hindi as a national language. Following are the some useful words and phrases in Hindi. When you want to greet someone in Hindi, you should say namaste. If you want to thank someone, you can say shukriya or dhanyawad. If you want to say okay or fine, you can say theek hai. If you want to say I'm sorry, you could say मुझे माफ कीजिए और मैं क्षमा चाहता हूँ. To say yes, you can say हाँ. To say no, you can say नहीं. To say good, you can say अच्छा. Bad, बुरा. To say please, you can say कृपया. To ask somebody their name, you can say आपका नाम क्या है? And if somebody asks you that question, you can say मेरा नाम and then your name. After conducting enormous amount of research on how to conduct business in India, our group came up with some suggestions. It is important to be sensitive to other cultures and religion in general, but when it comes to business, it becomes really crucial. It is wise to educate oneself on culture of potential business partners to show that you care and you really want to make a concrete business relationship. We recommend that taking the time to research before meeting and contacting a foreign business partner. A little effort may take you a long way. This was our comprehensive guide on how to conduct business in India. We hope you find it useful. Thank you for your time.